Good morning, everyone. Welcome to meeting number 549 of Blue Quest. I can't imagine that it was almost just yesterday that I attended the meeting number 343 where I played Toastmaster of the meeting for the first time in this club, and I wasn't even a member of that club. And my theme was, of course, the number 7. I will begin by stating the mission statement of a Toastmasters club that is universal across all the clubs worldwide. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. You are now inside the code of conduct of a Toastmasters meeting. Please be advised that the meeting is being recorded. We may pause the recording if you so desire. Let's get acquainted with the meeting rules. Audience, please be advised that any behavior that disturbs the flow of the meeting will result in removal from the meeting room without any warning. Please ensure that all your noise-making devices are either switched off or on silent mode, especially when you are on stage so that you don't get distracted. Please speak responsibly on matters relating to religion, politics, and sex in your speeches. As far as possible, keep your videos on, audio off, and applause flowing throughout. Role players, Toastmaster of the meeting, Table Topics Master, General Evaluator. Please ensure a smart audio video check for the role players before handing over the control of the stage to them. Role players, please rename yourself as role player hyphen your name hyphen your club name. You may omit the club name if you are a member of Blue Quest. Please acquaint yourself with role of the timer. Today, the timer will be using background change to indicate the time that you have taken. Green will mean that you've reached the minimum qualifying time. Yellow indicates it's a good time to start concluding, and red means that you've got 30 seconds before you get disqualified. Individual session timings will be explained in due time. We encourage you to use the Zoom emoticons at the bottom of your screens to encourage role players, just like I clapped for myself. We sincerely request you not to send chat messages to everyone or the speaker on stage. In fact, refrain from chatting altogether and focus on the speaker. Reiterating, please stay on mute until specifically requested to unmute. Polls will be launched after each section and they will be closed after 30 seconds. In short, if you want to be, if I was to sum up these rules, I would say, be the kind of audience you want for yourself. Now, I will introduce the presiding officer. He's had a rather stressful week because he had to deal with this monster called a club success plan. For that and for that alone, I immensely respect him, having to go through 22 pages of documentation and trying to fill them to try the patience of the best of us. What it tells me that he is a very patient person, which you can see as he looks at me ever so smilingly, waiting for me to give him the control of the stage. And I will do so right now. Let us give it up for the very patient, the very diligent Toastmaster Kapil.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rupinder. I welcome all the members and the guests in our meeting. It's our pleasure to have Kin Ang with us. Kin, welcome again in our club. And I welcome all other guests in our meeting, Rosena, Derek, Ankita, Raj, and of course our own Raj. Okay, so now this week, as Rupinder mentioned, that last week was a stressful week, and I'm sure that this week is also going to be a bit stressful because we need to submit moments of truth this week. Now, last time when we did moments of truth, I didn't get enough responses from our members. So this time I urge all the members to spare at least 5 minutes, because it won't take much more than 5 minutes, and get that Google form filled. I will be sharing that Google form link either today or at max tomorrow. Coming back to our meeting, every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. Today, our team is trying to accomplish by starting something called startup. Who is our team? Our team is someone who may help you in creating wealth. We like to speak and advise on wealth, on money, on digital business. He is certified financial analyst and investors by choice. Now, I know you want to have his contact number. Don't worry, I will be sharing post this meeting. But before I do that, let's welcome our team of the day, our VP Education, Sumit on this virtual stage. Sumit, over to you.
Thank you, Kapil. Thank you for this nice introduction. Start up your startup. Startups are everywhere these days. You throw a coin on somebody and you will know that that person is either starting a startup or is trying to start a startup or has a vision to start a startup someday and maybe have dropped the idea of starting a startup because of certain reasons. Parenting and starting a startup can be compared to each other. Parents take so much grind to make their kids capable. It is the love for the kids that make them persist and they make them have the perseverance and patience to make their kid capable. The same applies to startups. You need to have persistence, perseverance, and strong will to keep going. Before I proceed, I like to establish that I am a dreamer and I am on a journey to start my own startup, and it's currently in the sales mode. Today I have dreamt of about more than 100 ideas. Those are either failed before even taking off. Most of them are failed before taking off, and some of them failed after me taking those off, taking off. So I can give you about 100 different ways to fail. That's my qualification. But today I will focus on how actually to start, how not to fail in starting a startup. First, let's start with the why. The first step is starting a startup is knowing the purpose, that why do you want to start a startup first. You should look into your back, you should look in history, back in your life, and figure out your own purpose to start that particular startup. If you have that purpose with you, it will make you persist in the difficult times. And I would like you, while we are continuing in this meeting, to write your own reason, that why do you want to start a startup, your own particular purpose, and make sure when you write it down on the paper that it should come from your heart, and it should be a purpose which can make you work for your lifetime. See, I've told you in the beginning that parenting and starting a startup can be compared, are just similar. So let's proceed with this meeting. Today we have in our meeting, our first speech would be by Kin Ang, and second speech would be by Rupinder Singh. I would be responsible for this section, and post that I will hand over to our table topic master, who is Anna Whistler, and she would conduct the impromptu speaking sessions. Finally, we would have our evaluation section headed by our general evaluator, Hope Williams. Now I would like to hand over the stage to our general evaluator, Hope Williams, to conduct the evaluation session. Hope, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Sumit. I am happy to be here, and I am happy to be the general evaluator for this morning's meeting. As my role as general evaluator, I am looking to ensure that all evaluators know their tasks and responsibilities. I will explain the purpose and benefits of the evaluations to the group, as well as identify assignments for speeches, and watch everything. At the end of the meeting, I will be giving a full and complete report back for the evaluators as well as table topics, and I am excited to be here to do so. Before that, I would like to introduce my other role players that will help me during the meeting. So may I call to the stage our timer this morning, which will be Kushbal. Kushbal, can you come and explain your role as timer?
Good morning, everybody. Time is money, and Toastmaster teaches us how to use time appropriately and effectively to our best usage. And today I will be timing your speeches. For prepared speeches, we have 5 to 7 minutes, and I will be showing the green card at 5 minutes, and the yellow card at 6 minutes, and the red card at 7 minutes. For table topics, we have 1 to 2 minutes, and I will be showing the green card at 1 minute, and yellow card at 1.5 minutes, and the red card at 2 minutes. For evaluation, we have 2.5 minutes. So I will be showing the green card at 2 minutes, and yellow card at 2 minutes 15 seconds, and the red card at 2 minutes 30 seconds. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you for such a thorough and complete explanation of your role. Next, who will assist me with today's meeting is our all counter. So may I call Sumangal to assist me with the role of all counter for this morning's meeting.
You are mute, Sumangal.
Sorry for that. So hello, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I am the R counter of the day. Filler words or crutches like caused an interruption in the speech, which distracts the attention of the audience. They reduce the impact of the speech. So I shall make a note of the pauses and the filler words, repetitions used by the speakers and role players. Filler words are words like you know, I mean, right, well, so unintentional sounds like will also be noted. Any unintentional and exclusive long pauses during the speeches will be noted by me. I'll submit my report in the evaluation session. Back to you, Hope. Thank you.
Thank you for your clear and precise interpretation as the counter. Finally, rolling out the final co-author of the book of our meeting is our grammarian. So may I call to the stage Pratima, who will be our grammarian for this morning's meeting. Pratima, can you please explain your role?
Hello everyone, am I audible?
You have to speak a little louder.
Okay, is it better now? Okay. So hello, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Today I'm playing the role of a grammarian. And as a grammarian, it's my duty to note down the good usage and the not so good usage of grammar. Since this is my first attempt at playing this role, I'll try my best to do justice with it. Also, I will be noting down the frequency of the usage of the word of the day. And talking about the word of the day, we actually don't have the word of the day, but we have 2 words. We have 2 words for the meeting, and they are both related to the theme of the meeting today, which is about startups. So the words of the meeting are game changers and game changing. Game changer being a noun and game changing is an adjective. And I'll just show you with an example how it could be used. So for example, joining Toastmasters could be a game-changing idea for your career. And for game changer, an example would be the invention of harnessed electricity was a game changer for humanity. So I would encourage all of you to acknowledge when speakers use the words of the meeting with a thumbs up. If your videos are switched off, then you could use the emoji, the emoticons. And I will be presenting my report at the end of the session. Thank you, and over to you, Hope.
Thank you, Pratima. I'm looking forward to this game-changing meeting today because I see myself as a game changer. So I'm ready for this game-changing event. I've already used it 3 times. At this time, I will hand the meeting back over to our Toastmaster of the day, Sumit. I hand the meeting back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Hope, for the timing card. Our second speaker today is Rupinder Singh, who would attempt his speech from the project Evaluation and Feedback Speech 1. This is level 1 of Leadership Development Path. The purpose of the speech is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback in the next speech. The evaluator for Rupinder is Raj Mehta. The time allotted for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and there is a grace period of 30 seconds on either side. I welcome Rupinder for an audio video check.
Sumit, am I audible and visible? Let me make myself visible first.
Rupinder, yes, you are visible. It would be better if you are a little bit louder. That would be better.
Am I audible and visible?
Yeah, that's perfect, Rupinder.
Let me just spotlight the timer also. Good, we're good to go.
Yeah. Thank you, Rupinder. Rupinder Singh. I don't know how to take compliments. I don't know how to take compliments. Rupinder Singh.
Wonderful job, Rupinder. Excellent work, Rupinder. Way to go, Rupinder. I am sure you want to hear these words for yourself with your name at the end. Me? Don't get me wrong. Mr. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and very distinguished guests. My comfort zone is criticism. So when you think that you are criticizing me, that when you are yelling at me, that when you are castigating me, if you think that that would make me feel uncomfortable, that is my comfort zone. What is not my comfort zone are the commendations, the accolades, the compliments. I simply do not know what to do with them. To give you a background, I have grown up in a household where merit was everything. Now, in such a meritocratic environment, I would say I was a game changer in every wrong sense of the word. My cousins were IAS officers, engineers, doctors, lawyers, professors, and then there was me, the average one. So as such, nobody expected me to do well. And when I did do well, out of a freakish chance, they would go with, wonderful job, Rupinder. And I was like, yesterday you were yelling at me. Now you want me to take a compliment. So you realize how insecure I am with compliments. Let me share 2 stories with you. Story number 1. My leader, with whom I was having an acrimonious relationship, to put it very mildly, called me into his office. Now, prior to that, for a week, we had been haggling about a client. Now, he thought that we adopt a certain way. I, of course, disagreed with him, and I went my way. Now, I walk into the room, fully expecting to get fired. I have my defense ready. If he's going to say this, I'm going to say this. If he's going to say, come up with this argument, I'm going to come up with this argument. If he's going to say that I did not do a good job, I'll say, I think I did a very good job. I was ready to even say, here is my resignation. You want my resignation? This is it. I walk into the room. He motions me into the seat. I sit down. I straighten my tie. I'm listening to him, ready to listen, because I was told it is good to give the other person a chance to speak. The first words that come out of his mouth were, "You were right." What? You were right. What? Again? You were right. The client really liked your work. Huh. This is not what I was trained for. Okay. And nothing. You did a good job. You can go. That's it. That's it. Okay. I got up. I left the room feeling so deflated in my life. I wanted a fight with the guy. He did not even give me a fight. He just said, "I'm right." Well, that's not fair. Second case. I'm applying to the US Embassy for a visa. I've been rejected once. I go in there fully expecting to be rejected again. He asks me questions and I decide that, hey, I'm going to get rejected. Might as well give him stupid answers. And I gave him stupid answers. He said, "Is this the first time that you're applying for a visa?" I said, "No, you've already rejected me once." Okay. "Why do you think we rejected you?" I said, "I don't know. You work in mysterious ways." "Sir, your visa is granted." "What? Are you sure?" "What?" Nothing. I started walking away from the window. Then this guy calls me back. I thought this is where he throws the passport in my face. "Sir, since you're traveling next week, you need to collect your passport from this address." I wasn't ready for that. So you understand that when things work out too well, or when I get a compliment, I really get uncomfortable. My comfort zone is criticism. So fellow Toastmasters, Mr. Toastmaster of the day, and dear guests, I am standing here in front of you, humble and contrite, and I'm asking you, I have a very simple request for you. I do not know how to take a compliment. And yet here I am in Toastmasters, where everyone finds a compliment for you, even if you were to commit a murder. But I don't know how to take a compliment. Will you teach me? Will you teach me what to do when somebody says, "Excellent job, Rupinder. Great work, Rupinder. Way to go, Rupinder." Time for me to go, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Excellent job, Rupinder. So I request audience to give feedback to Rupinder on his speech. Timer, please note for 1 minute time while we give him the feedback. Thank you, Kushbu. Now that you all must have written the purpose of you starting a new startup. If not, take your own time. It's not that easy to find a purpose of life and purpose of starting a startup. It's like parenting. A lot of thinking and brainstorming go behind before you bring the child to this world. The next step is knowing what are those products and the services that you want to offer to the world. Once the two steps are clear, you would always be having a compass with you that will always direct you in the right path. See, I'll give you my personal example. I was a working professional, so something, a purpose and what you offer to service should marry with each other. That's not something two different part. It should marry with each other. I'll give you my example. I was a working professional for about 13 long years, and I was compromising my health because of my bad lifestyle and nutrition habits. All was going fine till one day I find that my body denied to support me, and why I was bedridden for about 6 months. Best of all Indian doctors told me that you need a spinal surgery. There is no other way around to get you straight upright. Right nutrition, balanced lifestyle, and exercises with lot of willpower has helped me come back to life. And I am standing straight today with all my willpower and with small changes in my lifestyle and small changes in my nutritional habits. This gave me my life purpose, that there are so many working professionals that they need these kind of advice. So I am telling you to weave a story around your life instances and bring a unique you to the world. And if you are able to do that, no matter how much competition is there in the world, you will still be unique. My story weave into a elevator pitch. The next step is to have an elevator pitch, and it is something like, I'm posting it in the chat box. Try it for your own self, and you will certainly find it useful. My elevator pitch is, I am Sumit Juneja. I am on a mission to help 1 million working professional achieve good health using balanced nutrition and a lifestyle education. And I'm the founder of Health Transformation Club. Do something like this for yourself. Repeat it as many times till it's ingrained in your mind that what do you want and what is your purpose. If you have done the first two steps well, you will never find it difficult to move on the right direction. So it will always be giving you the right direction. And once the direction is clear, it will become easier for you to choose between the options. Now we move forward with the meeting. I would like to call our table topic master, Anna Whistler, to continue with the table topic session. Over to you, Anna.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sumit. All right. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to be able to choose victims for this game-changing event. I will be stating the question and then calling upon someone, so please be ready. I, of course, will call upon pretty much anyone I want to, because that's my job. So to start out the questions for this evening, what kind of person would you say would make a successful entrepreneur? I am going to turn this to Rosena. What kind of person makes a successful entrepreneur?
Thank you so much for that question. And can you hear me?
Yes.
I was kind of afraid that you would call on me because you've heard me speak before, but nonetheless, here we go. What kind of person would make a successful entrepreneur? The first thing is someone prepared to take a chance. Being an entrepreneur, you may be a trendsetter, someone who is doing something that's never been done before, and you have to be bold and brave and ready to take a risk. On top of that, you have to be okay with things not working out. Not saying that you'll be unsuccessful, but things could go wrong. And how resilient are you to pick up and keep going? So for me, successful entrepreneurship means big, brave, bold, and resilient. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster, I'm sorry.
Beautifully done. I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely wonderful points to that as well. And I have heard you speak. You are very eloquently spoke. Our next question. What does success look like to you? What does success look like to you? Let's go to Ankita.
Thank you, Anna. So, yeah, what's the success look like to me is, I think I would go with the Sumit, that after being bedridden for 6 months, and because of this willpower, you have changed your life and you are a real game changer. That is the success for me. That it's not about the money and the material thing that you achieve in your life. It's about the happiness that you achieve in your life after uh, setting your goals well and after achieving them, like what Sumit did. So yeah, that's it.
Beautifully done. Great job. What is the importance of having a competition? Kapil, what is the importance of having a competition?
Thank you, Anna. Competition makes you better. If you are running alone in the race, then of course you are going to win that race. But if you have a competitor, if you have some contender, then of course you will try your best. The best of you comes out when you compare yourself with someone. I'll take example of our Toastmasters, because when I started my Toastmasters journey, I was not a confident person. But when I looked at different people, when I observed that how confident they are, how their body language works when they speak, so I felt that there was some kind of competition, and I wanted to improve myself. I looked up to them. I learned some tools of that trade from them. I'm still trying, of course, to adopt that. And I'm sure that you all agree that with competition, everybody improves. Now, I always like when there are people who are more capable than me. And that way I identify the gap, the delta between me and that person. And I try to bridge that gap through my constant commitment and continuous effort. So I feel competition, you need to have competition in all walks of your life. It will always bring best out of you. Thank you.
Awesome. I could not agree more. I think competition itself is a game changer for anyone who is looking to do a startup. It gives you that challenge. All right. What is something you have seen but could not explain? What is something you have seen but could not explain? Toastmaster Derek.
Thank you very much, Madam Table Topics Master, and please forgive my camera this morning. What is something I have seen but cannot explain? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I wrestle with this every single day. When I get up in the morning, I see it as an opportunity, a game-changing event for me that day. What will I do to become a game changer in any atmosphere or any arena that I find myself in? Then I look in the mirror. Who in the world is this fella staring back at me? I know I have some degree of confidence. I know that I have some degree of intelligence, but who in the world am I? What is it that I really want out of this day? How will I impact my world this day? It is something I struggle with every single day. And the reason why is because I'm constantly thinking about ways to become better. And not because I'm in competition with anyone else, but just for myself and with my yesterday. Ensure that my today is better than my yesterday, and my today is the bridge for my tomorrow. But it's hard for me to explain me. This mind of mine that will not shut off at all. Anna, you could attest to that. Just keeps going and going and going. I wish I were the Energizer Bunny, but no, just a man who needs sleep and for his mind to shut off at least once. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Derek. Once you figure out how to shut your brain off, let me know as well. I'd like to be a part of that. All right, our next question. What motivates you and drives your focus? Pratima, what motivates you and drives your focus?
Am I audible?
You are.
Okay. Hello, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Something that motivates me every day would be to be a better version of myself every day. That is something which strongly motivates me to move ahead. Since we've been talking a lot about competition, and many speakers said that the competition is always you. It's always you versus you, your past versus your present, and what you're going to be in your future. So for me also, I always have a benchmark, and my benchmark is past Pratima, what I was and where I was. And whenever I feel I am getting into this sad phase of life, I just look back and I see where I was and how far I have come in this journey of life. So this is something which motivates me and it keeps me going even on the days when the days are not good, even on the gloomy days. So being the better version of myself, giving my best in every aspect of life really motivates me. Thank you so much, Table Topic Anna.
Absolutely wonderful. That is a great motivation. Similar to what Derek said, is getting up and knowing who you are. With the subject of being startups in the world of gallivanting opportunities, the next question is, when have you felt your biggest adrenaline rush? Let's go to Sumangal. When have you felt your biggest adrenaline rush? You are still muted.
Thank you, Anna. So when I felt the biggest adrenal rush, so I would say there are multiple times in my entire life till now, I have felt a lot of adrenal rush, and to be defined as the biggest adrenal rush, I would say whenever I go for an adventure activity that gives me a real adrenal rush, like when I go for paragliding or a parasailing, that was my biggest adrenal rush. Once I went for a paragliding from a 1500 feet of height, so that was my biggest I would say that was my biggest fear. I have overcome it. So that was like, it was my biggest adrenal rush. And yeah, sorry, I could not remember anything right now about that. So back to you, Anna. Thank you.
I am impressed that you would do such a thing. So Fantastic. That would be indeed adrenaline rush. All right. This one I'm excited for. I have saved this question for the specific person. What is your philosophy in life? Sourindra, what is your philosophy in life?
Thank you, Toastmaster, Table Topic Master, Anna Whistler. What is the philosophy of life? It's a very challenging question which can be thrown at someone because of the fact that philosophy of life is something which is ingrained in yourself, and it comes from years of experience and guidance from people around you. One of my philosophies, under any circumstances, I am not willing to hit out at someone just because I can get higher than them. It has been an experience which a lot of people have told me was not right in the professional world. But I believe where I have ended my career in my profession, I have no regrets because I have achieved what I thought I have done. There were game changers in my life, which I have achieved, not because I have tried to hurt others, but purely because I have worked with others to be able to make those changes. And my success is, I believe, others see me as a doer and not someone who is a worry for you because I may hit back. No, I think my biggest philosophy in life is to work along with people and never hurt someone for the benefit of my own success. Having said that, I have had experiences where people have hit at me, but I have excused them and been able to explain to them, and I still stand by my philosophy. Over to you. Thank you.
I love it. I knew I could count on a wonderful answer from you, and you delivered very well, so thank you. Our next table topic. Have you ever questioned your sanity? Rupinder, have you ever questioned your sanity?
I really don't know how to answer the question. Have I really questioned my sanity? Why? Because I remember an incident. I was sitting in the office with my country head. Now, those were the times when I was also in charge of corporate communications of my organization. And I was preparing his thoughts for the week, a weekly newsletter that he would send. And I asked him, I said, what has been your biggest achievement so far? He looked me right in the eye and he said, keeping my sanity amidst all the chaos around me. Let that sink in. We were in a room that was as big as a living room. There was no one else around. And he was looking me in the eye and saying, keeping my sanity, considering the chaos all around me. And that was a defining moment of my life. So, Madam Topics Master, when you ask me, have I ever questioned my sanity? I would say yes. And it came in the moment when my country head, a person who has 1,500 people reporting into him, made me sit in his room and answered a question with a retort that made me question what I was doing there. I have never felt so insecure in my life as I did after I walked out of that room. Now, keep in mind, I did not have a very good working relationship with my leader. So obviously, I never told my leader that this was the question that was asked to me. But if I have ever questioned my sanity, I would say it was that one moment when my country head said that me being there made him question his sanity. Hope that's a good enough answer for you, Madam Topics Master, and you are not questioning your sanity.
Thank you so much for that answer and turning it back on me. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. All right. The next question. What do you think about when you are by yourself? I'm going to turn this over to Raj Mehta. What do you think about when you are by yourself?
Thank you, Tabletop Master Anna. What do I think about when I by myself? I would say that I think that I have some value in this world. Value because I'm living in this world, and since I'm living in this world, I am contributing this world. At least I feel that I have gained some knowledge, some skill, some personality, some habits, some good things in me, due to which I am able to contribute to this world. If we go family-wise, I am helping my family members in growing as far as their financial and physical and emotional requirements are concerned. Then if I think about my role as an officer in FITT, IIT Delhi, my company's name, where I'm working as the coordinator of an incubator, I think that I'm contributing by helping the budding entrepreneurs in realizing their dream into reality. And then if I think as a Toastmaster, I'm contributing in mentoring Toastmasters and also helping new Toastmasters in gaining their goals or gaining their targets or achieving the DCP goals and all that. So in a way, I think that if I think about myself that how should I buy myself, I would say that my contribution to this world in all the capacities I have in me is the way that I think I buy myself. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I love it. It was almost like a female thinking in circles on and on, but I love it. It had its rhythm. All right, to finalize our table topics this evening, I'm going to turn it to our Toastmaster of the evening. You have spoken about some of the startups and focuses that you have done in your career and in your life. So what I want to know from you, Sumit, is what would you consider your greatest accomplishment thus far?
Everybody had certain instances in his or her life which make them feel accomplished. I believe that my greatest accomplishment is yet to come. But till now, what I have accomplished in my life is that by introspecting a lot, I am able to clear the clouds of confusion from my mind, and I'm able to figure out what is the path that I'm gonna take going forward. The greatest accomplishment in my life is being clear about my objectives, having a passion about something in my life, and having a purpose, which very few people in the world have, which can make them work at night and early in the morning. So my biggest accomplishment, I would say, is finding that compass, finding that compass that will direct me throughout my life towards a particular set direction. And that is the most important thing in my view, because once you have that compass with you and once you know the goal that you want to achieve, and having a goal which will impact the life of people around you, is something which is no less accomplishment at all. So my biggest accomplishment is something that I will accomplish going forward. But yes, I am moving in the direction, and that's something that I would say is the biggest accomplishment. Having said this, I would urge everybody to do a lot of introspection every single day. Finding purpose is not easy. You need to work so much more hard on your own self to find that purpose for you. So I would urge everybody to think about it when we close this session, and let's see if we can get 2 or 3 more entrepreneurs within this group itself after the session. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much. I could not agree more. One of the greatest basketball players here in the United States is Michael Jordan. He was not a great basketball player in one day. It took multiple tries. And in fact, he was kicked off of his college basketball team because he was not good enough. Imagine being the coach now looking back on that. But he kept his focus, he kept his passion, and to Sumit's notice, he kept his drive. That is all I have for today. Thank you so much for having me as your table topics master. I will turn it back over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Sumit.
Thank you, Anna, for this wonderful, wonderful table topic session. The last step in your journey towards a startup is the how part. Once you are done with your why part and what part, what do you want to offer? Why do you want to offer what you want to offer to the world? The most important part is how you want to offer that to the world. Guy Kawasaki said, ideas are easy, implementation is hard. And it's the implementation which makes a lot of difference. So last step is not that, it's also very important step. On implementation, some of my learnings are, don't do all the heavy lifting on your own. Just like parenting, you need mother and father. In business, you need a partner, somebody whom you can trust blindfold. That's the first requirement. That's the first area where most entrepreneurs fail. And if you sort this one point out, the chances of failure will be far lesser. The second, my second learning from my failures till date is, have your minimum viable product out as fast as possible. Till the time the baby is out, you don't know what to do with it, right? It's more like parenting. Be flexible. You have to have you need to burn midnight twice when the baby cries. On the growth, if you're growing every single day, there's no problem. You don't need to visit a doctor. If the height is going up, that's okay. That's a good sign. On fundraising, people give you funds when you don't need it. So try to build a business where you can bootstrap it from your own savings, something where you don't need funds. When you don't need funds, people will give it to you and you will grow manifold. Last but not the least, ask for help. Whomsoever you know, reach out to them. The worst thing that can happen, they will say no. That's the worst thing that can happen. Reach out to people, ask for help where you are not capable of doing it on your own. With this, I would like to call Journal Evaluator for Day, Hope Williams, to continue with the evaluation section. Over to you, Hope.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. And I am really appreciating hearing all your tips on startups because they're all game-changing life tips. On to our first session with evaluations. So may I call my first evaluator, Sourindra? May I call you to the stage to evaluate our first speaker?
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I was a little apprehensive when I was told to actually evaluate international speech contest semi-finalist to be able to make some recommendations and suggestions based on the speech that he gave today, which was primarily on the best burger. I thought Toastmaster, him, though he's not here, it was a game-changing attempt by you to look at your relationships on basis of a burger, whether it was the way you built a relationship when you were an introvert with Vivian, and how you expressed yourself on moving ahead with the kisses. And then you moved to your next girlfriend, who's now, you have already had an engagement with her. You really used that word, which was the punchline, which were in two forms. One was pillows don't count for kisses, and building the burgers together. And that is where my recommendations come in. I feel the punchlines had to be more powerful to register with the audience. Another area which you could do well is your energy levels. And thirdly, like you rightly mentioned in the chat, the bite that you took on both the occasions of the burger actually choked you slightly, and you have to be careful how juicy that is. But at the same time, I must tell you, your expressions of that juiciness was brilliantly portrayed. Overall, a brilliant speech, but since this is going to be an ISC speech at the level of the semifinals, you need to work on your punchlines, put in more energy, and look at how you could use the props, but at the same time, you don't have to bite into it in a big way so that it'll choke you. Overall, a brilliant speech, and all the very best to you, Toastmaster Kid. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you for such a thorough evaluation. Very kind and thorough. I appreciate that. On to our next evaluator. May I call Raj Mehta to the stage to evaluate our second speaker, who is Rupinder. Raj, are you ready for your spotlight on this game-changing event?
Yeah, thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Hope Williams. Wonderful, Rupi. Excellent, Rupi. Way to go, Rupi. Mr. Speaker, if you think I would say this to you, then you are wrong. I would go along with your comfort zone, and your comfort zone is criticism. So I will only criticize you. I will not say anything which you have done good in your speech. Let me ask you, how dare you start with this mind-boggling opening? This is not right for you. You're not meant for this. Secondly, why did you tell that all of your other cousins were doctors, engineers, and blah, 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 and you were only a mediocre? Is it right to tell all these things in front of audience? Then where was the need to tell two stories? I think you should have told 4 or 5 stories, because 2 stories are not good enough. And then in your stories, what was the need of showing so much energy? What was the need of ending your speech in a loop? And then how would you prove that you were right when your boss said the job was done? I think this was all rubbish. And you really stand for criticism because you have not done anything good in your speech. Then coming on to your next story about getting visa. How can you convince us that you got visa even in spite of telling that you have already failed in getting the visa earlier? I don't take this point in any way. And hence, I criticize you openly that you were not right when you told that the officer at officer visa told you that you had got the visa. I can't believe it. It was, I would say, not trustworthy, and you need to improve on that point. After criticizing so much, which I am thinking you must be happy by now, I would like to say that there were some of the things which you did well. You did not stand and deliver, which was right. Such a speech should not be told by standing and delivering. And secondly, your postures were not appropriate when you were talking with your boss and when you were talking with the visa officer. Your posture should have been, I was standing like this. And when boss said, the job is done, fine. Similarly, when you were in front of the visa officer, instead of making fun or saying something which was not acceptable to the visa officer, you said something which was not right. So all in all, it was a rubbish speech, not hearable. I would not like to hear any such speech from you in future, and make sure that you do not come in front of me with such matter and with such loop, because loop was not required in this speech. Thank you very much to the General Evaluator.
What a game-changing evaluation. And I feel that we have all been changed from the tone of your voice, Raj. That was beautiful. Thank you. So now on to me to evaluate table topics. It's time for me to give my evaluation of Anna Whistler's take on table topics today. Anna. And before we do this, go ahead and vote for best speech evaluator. These two guys were really going neck and neck for who is the best. So on to Anna as table topics master. Thank you, Anna, for providing such a game-changing session of table topics. I felt as I listened to your table topics session, it felt like almost a journal of life quotes and how to carry on through life. I began taking notes and I became lost in my notes because there was so much useful life information from Raj, Sumit, Sourindra. The questions you asked, what does it take to become an entrepreneur? These questions tied into the theme of startups and more so just life, because a startup is more than just starting a new business. It can also be starting a new phase of life, a new relationship, or closing something that may no longer serve us. A question that really stood out to me, when did you feel the most adrenaline? What gave you that energy that pumped through your veins? And I would be more thorough on my evaluation, but I was lost in just listening to the actual answers. My note-taking became second, and I just began to listen to everyone. Because as I listened, I learned something new about each and every person and their journey through life, how they are inspired through life, what keeps them on this journey through life, all through a simple table topics session. So Anna, thank you for being so thorough with your questioning, because I really am at a place in life where I'm looking for these answers. And I sat and really became lost in every individual Toastmasters answer. Thank you to all of you for revealing more of yourself, because table topics seems like such a fun time. And this session just felt like sitting next to a grandfather or a father or a close friend who is telling me elements of life to take on to the next phase. This is my attempt at evaluations, because I just was listening so intently that this was more than a game changer. It was really a life-changing event. I will now, and thank you again, Anna, I really thank you. I was trying to take all these notes and I just felt like, I need to listen to everything. How can I take notes? At this time, may I hand the meeting back over to the the Toastmaster of the day, Sumit. I apologize. No, I'm not. No, I'm not, Sumit. You can put that right back on mute. It's not your time. It is actually the grammarian's time to give the grammarian report. So Pratima, can you please come to the stage and give us our grammarian report?
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Hope. And I actually echo the same sentiments as Hope. I was also so engrossed, so intensely engrossed in listening to everyone that I actually did not prepare my report. But I have taken down the notes, so I will just mention and quickly point out the notes that I have taken down for all of you. So I'm really elated that the words of the meeting were used quite frequently by a lot of speakers, totaling up to 20 times. So that's a great number. And I'm really happy. That was really game-changing for the meeting today. Now, quickly, I would just like to point out a few points of good usage of grammar that I have noted down. So Toastmasters of the day, Sumit. I really liked the way you used language in terms of few words like persistence and perseverance. And also I felt that you had great analogy between parenting and starting a startup. So that's about you. Talking about Speaker King Young, I felt that he started his speech with a rhyme, which was like a melody to our ears. And it was great usage of language over there as well. Also, the other thing is that his speech made me really hungry. And I also started thinking about burgers, but that's a different thing altogether. I had to focus on grammar. So I really like the visual imagery which he used to compare relationships with food. It made a great impact, I believe, on me as an audience and as a grammarian. Now, talking about Speaker Rupinder, I'm really hesitant to give him some compliments because I know it's not his comfort zone. But since the protocol and this role asks me to do it, so I will do it. And I feel that Rupinder, you used great vocabulary. The vocabulary was rich. So I'm just talking about your language here, nothing to be taken personally, just one aspect, and that is the language. Okay. I really like the synonyms that you gave for compliments. Those were commendations, accolades, compliments. Also other words like acrimonious and haggling. I thought they were great words that you used. Moving on, I felt all other table topic speakers and our table topic master, Anna, I felt everyone had a very unique pace to their speech and the intonation was really appropriate. Especially Anna, I felt that you used great vocabulary and really appropriate vocabulary, which everyone could understand. So although the theme was startup, there were no jargons really. So that really made everyone to understand and to speak something on the spot. And talking about others, talking about specifically our guest today, Derek, I felt that the speech was really great in terms of the language usage. You used repetition, you used phrases like, I know I have some degree of confidence, I know I have some degree of intelligence. So that I believe created a nice impact, like a reverberating impact on the audience. And talking about all other speakers, I was actually looking for some flaws and for some mistakes, learning from Rupinder's speech today. It was like the lesson for me. But I really couldn't find many. Just one bit of recommendation from my side would be just the pronunciation of the word compass. That's the only recommendation I had from my side. Otherwise, I really thoroughly enjoyed evaluating everyone as a grammarian, and I'm hoping I did some justice to it. Over to you, General Evaluator Ho. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And you did more than justice. You did it right. Now on to our counter and all these filler words. May we have our counter report from Sumangal?
Thank you, General Evaluator Hope Williams. So I'll share with you my counter report. I think screen share is disabled, but I have some notes. I can put down those. I can share those notes with you. So
Sumangal, screen share is enabled now.
Okay. Is it visible? So yeah, as Pratima mentioned that I was also too much engrossed listening to all those. So I am just, and this was the first time I am evaluating for the counter. So I'm trying that I have did justice to this role. So over and all, I did not see much usage of the filler words in the today's meeting. Ankita, you have used a couple of more, like 5 times. So you can check for the usage of that word. And other than that, I have to work on myself as well. I saw that I realized that I have also used and like a couple of times. So yeah. And other than that, I think overall all is good. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator Hope Films.
Thank you, Sumangal, especially for the visuals. I love to see that my numbers weren't captured. So on to our timer and our timers report. May I have a beautiful recollection on how we did with time this morning, Kushbal?
General Evaluator, just give me 5 seconds. I am facing a internet lag challenge. Just give me 5 seconds.
Sure. In those 5 seconds, I will fill your time with my beautiful voice. Okay.
Is my screen visible? Is my screen visible?
Yet. Yes.
Okay. So we did great with timing, and today's meeting was a game changer for me, as for the first time I paid attention to the agenda sheet which I receive every week, and it's my bad that I've never paid attention that there is actually duration for every role. So we started on time with the SA opening the meeting at 7:57. Our first speaker took 7 minutes and 13 seconds, so it was within the time limit. Our second speaker took 7 minutes, 4 seconds. That was also within the time. And our table topics got over pretty fast, and all of them qualified within the time. Our evaluation went really well. Toastmaster Sourindra took 2 minutes, 43 seconds. Toastmaster Raj Mehta took 3 minutes, 38 seconds. Though he was just qualified on time, but his evaluation was mind-blowing. And for our Grammarian Report, She took 4 minutes and 13 seconds, but I loved her learning journey. And as our counter took 1 minute, 3 seconds. And this is my report. I presume it is already within 1 minute. Over to you, General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for that thorough timers report. And now it is back to me to report on the total meeting. I believe this meeting has been a game changer. I will continue to use that word because I am so inspired by it. And our meeting started off on time. The basics of starting on time, everyone being audible, and guests being greeted with care was done. The simple theme of startup was initially given, and our Toastmaster of the day beautifully led us through the journey of a startup. Some things that noted in my brain: why, what, how. Don't do all the heavy lifting. This was beautiful. Have your minimum product out and available. Growth. Asking for help. Sumit, thank you for these words because you built a picture on the vision and the journey of a startup. As we went through the meeting, you continued to build. As I stated, you started with why. You followed with what, you followed up with how, and you concluded with your body of a startup. Within the meeting, we heard two beautiful speeches, one from the future world championship speaker who has now left, and the second from Rupinder, who I was just looking forward to hearing. I lost sleep. I wanted to hear this so badly, and I was fulfilled by the words of Rupinder not wanting to hear these beautiful things about such a beautiful spirit. Our table topic session was another additive that just added to this beautiful book of continuing on a journey, asking the beautiful questions and receiving the answers that add inspiration and guidance to our life. Throughout our meeting, yes, I fell off the track because I'm just so enthralled with learning, listening, and seeing how I can improve through every member. Truly, every member inspires me in one form or another, to listen more intently, to challenge my grammar, to speak slower. So, at this time, please vote for the best auxiliary role player. And I'm going to turn the meeting back over to the Toastmaster of the day, but not before I close with another quote from one of the best startup founders himself, Jeff Bezos, who said, "We are our choices. Build yourself a great story." And with that, I will turn the meeting back over to our Toastmaster of the day, Sumit.
Thank you, Hope, for building the momentum and giving that quote. In the end, I would like to ask you all a question. What is the most precious asset that we have? Please write your answer in the chat box. The question is, what is the most precious asset that we have? Is it money? Is it people? Is it time? Or is it something else? Please write it down. I'm saying time, family, my relationships and time, ourselves, time and health. Well, the time is one which is coming out multiple times here, and health is also very important, some may say. But in a startup, and family is also very important, right? But when it comes to startups, the most precious asset is not time, because Rupinder and Sumit Juneja both have 24 hours in a day. It's exactly the same with every single person on this earth. So what is the most important thing in the startup world? It is the focus. Focus is the most precious asset in the startup world. Instagram, when it was acquired by Facebook, had only 20 people, and the valuation on which the Facebook acquired Instagram was $1 billion. $1 billion startup with just 20 people with complete dedicated focus towards building a social platform. That's the power of focus. To build a successful startup, you'll need a purpose statement, you'll need an elevator pitch, a minimum viable product, and a very few focused founders. Very few. Don't mind my words. There are startups with only 3 founders, and when they started, they were 3 founders, and when they sold off at $1 million, they were 3 founders. Right? So if you have focus, things will become much more simpler. Now I would like this meeting to become a game changer for all of us. Those who want to start up anything. It's not only the startup. If you want to start up anything, I would like to go back and watch this video again. And I want this meeting to become a game changer in our life. Start up your startup today. Now I would like to call our presiding officer, Kapil Kakkar. Over to you, Kapil.
Thank you, Sumit. Certainly, it's going to be a game changer for most of us. Okay, so I would like to congratulate Pratima because she was doing this role for the first time. So Pratima, very well done. Sumangal, I guess you also did our counter role for the first time. So again, very well done. And Raj sir, you showed us the way how to evaluate Rupinder. I have heard many humorous speeches, but I've never heard humorous evaluation. So again, a game-changing evaluation, Raj. Thank you. Now, while Rupinder compiles his result, it's time for me to take feedback from our guests about today's meeting. Starting with you, Rosena. Feedback from your end about today's meeting.
Thank you very much. So I think that I was invited to a very timely meeting. So I'm grateful that I got to see Rupinder earlier in the day, or at least later in the day. And so I really enjoyed the meeting. I enjoyed both speakers. I enjoyed the functionaries, and I learned quite a bit about transitioning and how you manage a meeting. So thank you again for the invitation, and I look forward to visiting again.
Thank you, Rosena. Ankita.
Thank you, Kapil. So I really like the meeting, the structure, and the way we have conducted this. You guys have conducted this. So I'm already a part of Toastmasters of different clubs, and I was looking forward to this meeting since my weekend timings were not working out. But I think yeah, so this is a great meeting. Whatever things I was looking for, I could find it over here all. Like great speakers, I can see it, and the passion and everything that I think it's great, and I am looking forward to it, to join more meetings in future. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ankita. We look forward for your presence next time. Derek.
Hi, thank you once again. It was a pleasure being here this morning. What time is it? I don't even know anymore. But it was a great meeting. I enjoyed myself, and I look forward to coming back again. Hope, Madam General Evaluator, she's not sharing her food. She's not playing nice. But we won't hold that again, so thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Derek. And before I hand it over to Rupinder for sharing his results, I would like to urge again to our members that I will be floating this moment of truth Google form. So please feel free to fill in and do confirm once you are done, because last time we didn't do it appropriately and I got a message from our area director that our response rate was very low. So let's not do that this time. Rupinder, are you ready with your results?
Getting generated.
Okay, meanwhile, Raj sir, how did you evaluate Rupinder then? Just tell us the tip.
I just thought that I should tell the speaker what he is looking for. Since he is looking for, he is comfortable with criticism, then why not to criticize as much as possible? That was my point, and that I focus on it. That's all.
You got carried away.
Wonderfully done. Okay. Sumit, do you want to take role for the next week?
Ultimately, the point was to motivate the speaker in the way in which he wants.
Okay, we are almost ready with our.
So I'm taking role for the next week's meeting. Anyone willing to volunteer, please let us know right now.
I requested for a speech slot, please.
I will also give a speech in case it is available.
Sumit, is it possible to have 3 speeches next week, or do we have a format of having 2 speeches?
No, we can do 3
We
speeches.
have so we have confirmed speech slot for Sourindra and for Pratima, and Anna Whistler is the Toastmaster of the meeting.
I can be an evaluator.
I would request if I can be adjusted, especially because next week on Wednesday, it's my birthday, and I want to deliver a speech in some different way. That I shall be doing, in fact.
Yeah, sure. We can.
As a
two
birthday
speakers.
gift, we can give a slot to Raj.
No, point is that I shall be delivering a promise which I made to Rupinder some years back.
I am not here next week. I'm probably not here next week.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. I will be here.
Okay, good.
Kapil, you have taken a role.
We're ready with the certificates. Can we just do the certification ceremony very fast, very quick, so that. Can we do that? We start?
Go ahead. Sure, please go ahead.
All right. So let's very quickly share the screen. Starting off with the standing ovation. We had 2 standing ovation awards today. First one, of course, goes to Pratima. Many congratulations, Pratima, for playing the role of grammarian almost to perfection. Great job done there. And for our counter, Sumangal. Many congratulations, Sumangal. Standing ovation award for being the counter today. The best table topic speaker number 3 was a person who just can't be satisfied criticizing me. So many congratulations, Raj Mehta. Ooh, superb job. The second best table topic speaker today, I was surprised that his name was there because I did not have to type it. It auto-suggested itself. Many congratulations all the way from Bahamas, Derek Rose. Many congratulations. Great job done. And our best table topic speaker today was a guest. I don't think that she's here anymore, but Ankita Raj, many congratulations to you. The best speech evaluator, because of a disqualification, happens to be Distinguished Toastmaster Sourindra Bhowmick. Okay, The best auxiliary role player, well, I will say the butler did it, which means one and only one thing. It is the oh, sorry, it was the timer pushed. Great try. Sorry, Pratima. I was going to take your name, but it's actually Khushbu. Great job, Khushbu. Yeah, even that is the right expression. Okay. The best role player today. So last week we had two best role players, and they were role players today as well. Hope Williams and Anna Whistler. Thing is that our best role player today actually beat both of them. Many congratulations, Sumit Juneja, for those wonderful ideas on startups. Superb job. And the best speaker, well, what do you do when you have the next world championship in your club? You give him the best speaker award. Many congratulations, Kim. That is it from my side and my screen. I will go back and I will hit this button, and you should be receiving your certificates in your inboxes soon.
Anyone willing to take